Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my IFHE Kaba. Going over the matchmaking, got a bunch of fat boats, Wooster, not really a threat. Henry can be a pain in the butt on the flank. Uh, Chapiev, maybe if you get close enough. DD threats, Z52, Yu Yang, Benham. Z52 and Benham definitely torp threats. They can chuck out a lot of torpedoes. With particular builds, Benham in particular. Uh, but all in all, this is pretty favorable matchmaking for Kaba, and really should be expecting my ship to make an impact on the game. Uh, right off the bat, my team kind of spawns where they kind of a split spawn, and the team's going to split up with the weak flank going to C cap, the bulk of my team going to A cap, and you know, that's kind of the plan here. No, we've got to be aggressive on A. We've got to win A because the bulk of our team is down here. And really all CCAP should be thinking is just surviving. Uh, you only have, a little more than a quarter of the team up there. Or actually, yeah, well, I can't math right now. 5 ships, so, you know, almost half the team up there. Still, it's definitely a weaker flank than A cap. Excuse me. What I'm doing here, all I'm trying to do is ride shotgun for my gearing, and anything that he spots, just kind of start taking a dump on it. And this is one of my priority targets. Getting radar off the map is a great thing. And with IFHE, I mean, it can happen pretty quickly with this build, and that's why I'm instantly opening up. I know this Chapiev's going to radar my gearing, so I'm not wasting any time trying to get shots into the guy. Now, unfortunately, my gearing's not able to really spot anything else, so I'm just going to start slamming to the flank. We've got this Azumo that's committed hard on the one line, and we're going to have to steamroll this guy because we need to roll this flank up, and that's going to be my primary task for the game, or at least in the initial stage of the game. Getting back out here where I can actually take shots. You can see my gearing's playing it smart. He's actually getting out of smoke, restoring vision for the team. He was able to stay in the cap. He's almost got it capped. He hasn't lost a ton of HP, and that tells me that this is the enemy's light flank. You can start to see his ships pop up. The enemy team has basically reversed what we've done, and that means this is really in danger. Like, for example, this Z46, gonna pause it right here. This Z46 has failed to do the basic arithmetic to see how these teams are working out. He's got a Wooster here, so there's a radar threat. And he's bow into the cap. Not only is he bow in, but he's in front of an island, so he can't even just turn and kite away. He's got to turn and go around this island to try to get away. And that's usually a death sentence when you have that many obstructions to you getting away. Basically, the Wooster, if he is able to radar, the Wooster can shoot him immediately. In about 6 seconds, the rest of the team will be able to start shooting at him. Basically, this Z46 is going to have about enough time to turn a little more than broadside to the entire enemy team, and everybody is going to open up and just take a dump on him. Don't cap like this. If you're gonna step into the cap, you know, it's okay to run the edge of the cap as long as you can just turn straight out and run away. If there's any sort of island cover in the way, it's best to uh, just back into the cap and just put just enough of your ship in the cap to start flipping it, and that way you're presenting a small target for anybody shooting at you, torpedoes, anything like that. You obviously, if you've got RPF, you want to angle it at your RPF where you think torpedoes are going to be coming from. If you don't have RPF, you take your best guess. Uh, but above all, you want to be pointed to your path of escape. And our Z46 isn't doing that right now. You know, also look at his support. These guys are actually playing it correctly. The Satago's probably dead. Looks like he's beaching on an island. Z46 is spotted. Look at this. You can't do this. So what if he's got hydro? It gets negated by the radar. Look at the proximity between the enemy's DD support, probably about 5-6 kilometer shots, versus about 9 to 10 kilometer shots, and this Atago's gonna really pay for it if he opens up. So I know I'm talking a lot up here. It's just there's a lot of lesson stuff up here that can be learned. This was really messy up here. And there's the Z46 down. Atago is turned into the cap now, and he's likely to be going down here shortly, and that's going to basically leave these guys as the only ships really playing the weak flank correctly. Back over here, it's just taking some time. Got to try to roll over the Azumo. Try not to lose a bunch of HP in the process. Azumo's kind of a pain in the butt battleship to try to burn down. Its superstructure is tiny, and you really gotta have a solid aim to hit it. And finally getting it right here with this last fire. Just gonna keep dumping shots in there just in case he gets a repair off or some sort of surprise. But I believe, and there it is, though. The one line is now clear. We've got a Z52 up here that I need to start pushing, and I mean, the northern flank is fell. The good news is my Smolensk, Yamato, and Republic, they're all able they're all in a position where they're already kiting, or they have enough space that they can kite. The enemy team's got a secondary push coming through the middle right here. These are going to be my next targets that I'm lining up, along with, if I can see the Z52, try to punish this guy. But I'm looking at things. The Richelieu is on opposite side of the island, so I believe this Bismarck's going to be my next target. Unfortunately, this is just downtime that was needed to try to secure the flank of the map, because we got to have some place to work from, because my team just got crushed up here in the north. So, not wasting any time to get my guns on target. I've got an island here really blocking me, and I don't want to drive in this direction. I want to keep driving in this direction and just try to wrap the north up. I see Z52 torp, so I'm torp safe for the moment. Now that I'm coming around the island, I can get all of my guns into the action. See Z52 smoke. Now this is going to be concerning to me, because if I was this Z52, I would be shooting me, and you're gonna see me. I'm gonna be looking at this. You see me looking. I don't like it. I don't think those torps even have range. I'm doing whatever I can to try to dislodge this this Z52. But he's not shooting at me, and I don't like what's going on right now with my team. We have very little map control. We're being pushed all over the place. We're down ships, down caps, and it's starting to look like the enemy teams might be basically in process of routing my team. So aggression here. Even though this is risky, I'm trying to win the game here. And you know, I'm in a ship that you need to utilize violence of action in times like this to try to be successful. Try to turn things around. That fire tells me the Bismarck's going down. Just switching right to the Henry. Again, it's vital that we keep this flank opened up. My team needs, you know, some sort of map control, some areas where we can work from, and I can't let this Henry just sit here and just burn my team down. So this is actually a really good engagement to show what IFHE can do against cruisers. Henry's kind of a pain in the butt for destroyers typically to deal with, unless you know you're like a Haragumo or something like that. Here, all I'm doing, I'm angling at the big threat, the Henry, and I'm just going to work on these DDs because they actually started shooting at me, and it's time to you know, try to take advantage of them revealing themselves and try to get as much damage as I can on them. You can see all I'm doing right here by pointing my bow directly at this Henry. He's going to struggle to understand, am I going forward, am I going back? Even if he utilizes his torpedoes to take a look at me, his torpedoes aren't likely to tell me anything. And my smoke, he's really gonna need to look closely to see if my smoke's going forward or back to be able to see me. So DDs are down. Unfortunately, I slowed right into that shot, but it happens. But I'm gonna take advantage of this situation. We've got a 2v1 here. My my Hindenburg is starting to draw the fire from the Henry. I'm perfectly fine with that. Hindenburg's got a lot more HP than I do. But I will say, I think that it's a mistake for that Henry to focus this Hindenburg. He's not really doing much in the way of damage to him, and it might have played more dividends if he would have tried to eliminate me. I've got 20k HP compared to this Hindenburg that probably has over 40k. So this Henry, he goes down. He just bit off more than he could chew. Now, I had completely lost map awareness putting this this Henry down. He needed to die, and these guys didn't really pop up on my mini map when I was looking. This is a loss of situational awareness here. I don't know if this DD's here, or if he's behind the island. But I think there's a DD here because the last known location looks to me like the DD was getting pushed, and I see the shots. Yep, the DD's there. Z52 pops up. Now I'm trying to save my Iowa. Fortunately for me, nobody had torps, and I really got away with the situation there. That honestly, this Z52 really could hurt me with AP in that situation. The Z52's problem though is from this position, he's really limited as far as escape routes. The Hindenburg's wrapping around, the Republic's blocking his front. me and the Iowa are basically wrapping up, his only other escape option, which would be to the south. Um, just really got cut off when when they lost the northern portion of the map. My team was just able to wrap in there and just cut him off from support. My Hindenburg, he's been a good buddy to this point. This is a really close game. The enemy team still shows that even with us contesting BCAP, they win in 8 minutes. We really need BCAP, and my Hindenburg, he's just, opening up rather than trying to cap. None of these ships really should be able to spot him, but, he's just damage farming, and unfortunately that's not helping us actually win this game. The damage he's doing is nothing compared to actually getting BCAP flipped. And he ends up going down because he's sailing broadside right through cap, and a Republic is able to basically just slam him. So just trying to tell my team, just hold your positions. We don't need to push. The enemy team still has a lot of firepower, and I've got some unhealthy ships. My Iowa, I'm worried about. He's pushing up here in BCAP with me. There's a Conqueror here that, if he gets a line of sight on this Iowa, it's lights out for that Iowa. Now we're getting close here, trying to get this cap, but I do get it, and you see my Iowa pushing right in there. This is really dangerous. This Conqueror, HE could burn him, AP could wreck him. I need to do what I can to try to get this Republic down as quickly as possible. Again, you can see what I'm trying to do here. Conqueror is the big threat to me. I'm just angling at the Conqueror and just fluctuating my speed, using AP on the Republic, where the team basically is able to put him down. That buys my Iowa some breathing room, because I'm going to be able to shift target over to the Conqueror, and I'm really going to start laying into this guy and just being an annoying pest. You can see, I see he's getting ready to shoot. I'm just going to start speed juking. He misses me by a mile. He's stagger firing, so I need to take and be cautious of the fact that he's going to be able to shoot at me more times, and adjust for my juking. So I can't just sit out here on a 30-second reload and just hammer the guy. I'm gonna have to bring my back guns off target and keep working on this guy. I am gonna repair that gun turret. I'm just looking for DPM right now. I still have some repairs, so if I take a big hit, get caught on fire, I still have the potential to disengage. The point counter showing 3 minutes, 30 seconds, we win. But this move here tells me that I've demoralized the Conqueror. He's wasted that many shots at me, hasn't really had any effect on me, and he's just trying to shoot now what he can shoot to try to do something. And this is, my time to really stick it to him. Just trying to hit that superstructure. Not having the best fire RNG this match, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I could use AP here, probably should use AP here since I'm not getting fires. And the Iowa takes my Kraken. But that's okay because we've turned this game around and kind of pulled back what looked to be a stomp from the enemy team and pulled out a hard-fought victory. And that's worth losing a Kraken any day in my book. So at this point, there's really nothing left for me to do than sail peacefully towards Sea Cap and contemplate the shenanigans I just saw. Kind of watch my fat boats trap this poor light cruiser. Uh, it's one of the things about this particular game. The enemy team just seemed to get, caught up where they just got cut off. Like, you look at this positioning, you got a Republic blocking this way, you got an Iowa blocking this, and a Yamato coming around behind. It's the enemy team just really got themselves channelized, and as our flanks came around, uh, they just lost ships because they just got cut off from any sort of support, and when they got spotted, they just got nuked. And that really good for me, but really rough on the enemy team. So I went on ahead and pulled this video because it was a really good example of the value of IFHE on Kaba, where it gives you a tool to try to deal with cruisers. That fight with that Henry probably couldn't have taken it with IFHE or without IFHE. I would have tried to have to use AP, and that AP when it happen when he starts taking the big pin damage, he's just going to angle either to me or away from me, and he's going to remove that tool from the fight. And at that point, all I'm really left with is trying to hit, his superstructure with my HE. And when his superstructure saturates, well, I'm just stuck dealing reduced damage, whereas his ship, uh, with a 19-point build, likely would be able to damage any portion of my ship. Uh, IFHE, it opens up the bow and stern of the Henry to HE pen damage, and you saw some of that where my shells, as the Henry's, you know, juking and jiving, it's throwing my shots off where I'm intending to hit the superstructure, but it hits a little far back or a little far forward. It's still hitting areas where the HE can pen, thanks to the IFHE, and that let me do quite a bit more damage to the Henry than I otherwise would have been able to. So for that reason, that's one of the reasons why I pulled this game. Not to mention it's just entertaining to see a come from behind game. Um, but I hope you guys enjoyed this game. This was another one that um, there were a few mistakes in there. The loss of situational awareness um, was definitely one of the bigger ones this game. It happens when you get focused on a target that really can hurt you. You're trying not to get killed there. Uh, Something else can come right up and just knife you in the back, and it can happen to everybody. And what makes good players, better than the average players is that threshold that they have of losing situational awareness is just that much higher. So uh, this was a good game to also illustrate that to you guys. So gonna go ahead and cut this one off. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I hope you're having a good night, and I will talk to you later.